So in my family, we always say that every trip will have at least one major thing go wrong. Every trip, no matter what, and that has been consistent, although it's usually more than one. And I bring this up because right now I am currently in Malaysia, of all places, which is A, the biggest trip of my life so far, and B, my first time ever flying international, and C, while doing so completely alone. So I'm a little bit terrified of the big thing that is going to go wrong on this trip. I'm also packing extremely light, and by that I mean literally just a carry-on, oof, and a backpack. Though to be fair, what makes me the most nervous isn't actually being there in Malaysia, it is the process of getting there at the airports, because airports and me do not have a really good history together. Like, for example, last week, my younger brother visited me here in LA, and it was amazing, a fantastic time to be with him, and I loved every moment, and nothing went wrong. Until the very last day. At the airport. We got dropped off at Terminal 4, you know, the United area, and I went up to, he got in line to the security, and he had to show his boarding pass to be able to get in said line. Except there was one slight problem he discovered as he looked at his boarding pass, and that was he was not in fact flying out of United, he was flying out of American Airlines. Whole nother airline, whole nother terminal. So his flight was taking off in like 2 hours. So we had to freaking book it through LAX. Where we finally did make it, everything was fine. But that was just one little example of something going wrong on a trip at an airport. Another example of things going wrong during traveling was the time last year, or the year before, I don't know, time is fleeing before my very eyes, when I attended NerdCon Nerdviteria in Boston, Massachusetts. A week in Boston in February. So, logically, I just brought heavy, thick winter clothes that would keep me warm in the inevitable frigid Antarctica that Boston is in February. Only to discover that exact week they just had a random hot flash and it was 70 degrees the entire week. Literally, when I got there, you could see the snow on the ground from the previous day when it had snowed, and now it was 70 degrees, and I only had thick, heavy jackets. Or, for example, the time I was going to Georgia for a family reunion, only to have my flight get delayed, which made my 1 hour layover, end up only being 10 minutes. And as if that wasn't bad enough, I landed on the exact opposite side of the airport that my next flight was taking off from. I had to book it. I have never ran so fast before in my life. I wasn't just running, no, I was literally sprinting through the airport. People were in my way. I was like, pardon me, coming through, excuse me, I gotta go. I'm leaving at like D30, and I got here, I'm leaving at like A3. I got there, I was the last person that they didn't rebook on a different flight. And so I go to get my boarding pass for them to let me on. I lost my boarding pass. Somewhere it just slipped right out of my pocket and flew away in that incredible sprint I did. Thankfully, they did still let me onto the plane by just showing my previous boarding pass, and I guess, I don't know, they knew that a bunch of passengers were running over, and they were just like, you know what, we can't delay this plane anymore. You're good, just get on, man, we trust you. So thank you, kind people. And just think, to this day, my boarding pass might be floating around somewhere in the Florida airport. In fact, Florida and I have never really gotten on together. I don't know why! Florida, I want to love you. Why do you hate me so much? Like, for example, the other time that I was visiting Florida. Yes, I was visiting Florida. Actually, my whole family was. We had a family trip to Disney World. Sounds amazing, sounds fantastic, sounds fun. And it was. It was a fantastic week. But, immediately after said trip to Disney World, I discovered a lovely little Florida gator stuffed gator. And that thing and I went everywhere together. From the shop to home, from home to the bus station, from the bus station Okay, so while we were waiting for the bus at said bus station, I had a fantastic idea to take a little picture of the Florida gator. I, for some reason, decided I was going to put this guy in a tree and take this picture of him. All well and good. I mean, I don't know why I wanted to take this picture, but I did, so here we are. But, so I take the picture, I look down and review it, decide, yep, that's good, and walk away. Completely forgetting that it was up there! And did not discover this fact until the bus came. And we're on our way up to Georgia for, like, another family reunion. Look, I have a lot of family reunions in Georgia. And, realized that someone was missing. My best friend for like 4 hours. And to this day, this picture is the first and only one that we have with this guy. I was like honestly so heartbroken, but my father tried to console me with the fact that we were heading up to, you know, Georgia. And Florida is the only place you can say you were heading up to Georgia. Anyway, and we're heading up to Georgia, and apparently there's a little bit of a rivalry between the Florida Gators and the Georgia Bulldogs. And so if I had brought that, I might have started World War III with my family. So, thanks, Dad. That definitely consoled 10-year-old Chris. So because of all of those experiences, I know that something is definitely going to go wrong on this trip to Malaysia. I just don't know what it is at the moment, and I'm praying it's not so serious that I get stranded in either Malaysia or the place where I have a layover in China. Because that would really suck, especially with this whole government shutdown thing going on, that I would not be able to re-enter the US. I don't think that's gonna happen, but you know, there's always that little nagging little voice in the back of your mind, especially, you know, you wake up at like 3 a.m. to go pee, and then suddenly that thought enters your mind, and good luck falling back asleep, because that's not gonna happen. That has been my living nightmare for the past 4 days. I'm just terrified of something going wrong. Anyway, on that lovely note, wish me luck. Do you have any funny traveling stories? Because I would like to read them and get my mind off of this stress and tension and hear that you're okay in spite of everything that happened, because I'm a big old ball of nerves, can you tell? I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay, he says, trying to convince himself, but clearly failing. This is where I need to listen to my own advice and remind myself to stay positive.